All right, so on the weekend, we heard of the major coup attempt by Prigozhin in Russia. Apparently, the first stories out was he was going to stage a coup on Putin in Moscow. He rolled his army towards Moscow. Then somewhere in the middle of that, he decided not to and turned back around, and now is back at his post. And everybody was on Twitter. Everybody was speculating, and oh my God, it's the end for Russia, and it's the end of Putin, and blah blah blah. But in the end, it turns out we all really don't know what fucking happened at all. So we cannot look in Prigozhin's mind. We don't know what the story is because everything we're getting from media, whether here in the West or Russian media or Ukrainian media, is all propaganda. When it's in time of war, they're all lying about something. It's very difficult for regular people like us to get a clear picture of what is going on. But here is the only thing you really need to know about Ukraine and the war in Ukraine, except for the fact that you have to understand you really don't know anything. You know what I'm saying? What we are getting fed is far from reality, especially when it comes to mainstream media in the West, and even the alternative media. Most people don't really know what's going on. They're doing takes of stuff. They're giving their opinion on stuff. They're talking to certain people that also may know something and some stuff. But unless you're actually on the ground, right there, on the front lines, in the trenches, you really don't have a clear view of what's going on. And even then, you don't have a clear view of the overall politics of it. So all this constant speculation about Ukraine and Russia and the war is actually just a waste of breath, a waste of time. People need to stop fucking worrying about it too much. The only thing you need to know, and the only thing you need to keep in your head about this is any country that is sending exorbitant amounts of money that they don't have and weapons that they don't have to Ukraine, where it's completely unaccounted for. You know what I'm saying? Any country that is participating in the war in Ukraine, other than Ukraine and Russia, is basically fucking over their own citizenry. You know what I'm saying? Again, I live in Germany. Germany has no fucking business taking the Ukrainian side of this, first of all, because their partner to keep their industry rolling, their partner was Putin. You know what I'm saying? Putin was sending over cheap gas. That's how we kept shit running here in Germany. And Putin is somebody that Germany knew you cannot control. You know what I'm saying? Which is correct. You know what I'm saying? If I'm the boss of a country, then the bosses of another country who want something from me are not going to tell me what I can do and what I can't do, what's morally right, what's morally virtuous. Because if they tried that, I would say, you know what? Go get your fucking gas then somewhere else. If you don't like it, then don't let the door hit you in the ass. Bye. That's what I would say. And so Germany and these Western countries have to stop this moral virtue signaling to everybody about how other countries need to act. You know what I'm saying? Basically, the story is like this. Unless you're willing to fight them for it, then you cannot impose your values on them. So the only way to impose values on another country is to get boots on the ground and go and invade them and do it by force, because just by morally virtue signaling or talking big game in your own country about how bad that country isn't going to do it. Those people don't play this game. You know what I'm saying? Those people don't play this game. You also don't have Putin running around telling Holland how to run their country or Germany how to run their country. It was basically a business transaction. So Germany has no business screwing their partner to take the side of Ukraine in this conflict, especially considering the history of this conflict. But they did that. Now, not only did they then basically fuck over their own country and the whole industry of this country, they have made power prices go so high that it's almost impossible for people to pay it without government subsidy. This has caused massive inflation, and the reason that inflation is there is because these Western governments keep printing money that they don't have. Now, that should piss off everybody. Look, I understand the people that think it sucks for Ukraine. I agree with that. It does suck for Ukraine. Any country that gets attacked by another country, it sucks for them. But I didn't hear Germany and all these other Western countries running up to America and sanctioning them and throwing big shit at them and trying to invade them and trying to morally virtue signal to them when America invaded Iraq and Afghanistan based on a bullshit story about weapons of mass destruction that weren't there. I didn't hear about that. You know what I'm saying? And America is responsible.
In 1 kilometer.
America is responsible for a lot more death and destruction and wars and killing of innocent people than many other countries out there. Yet the West continues to support America. No questions asked. No questions asked. You know, they just do it. You know, they just do it. No sanctions, no nothing. But when it comes to Putin invading Ukraine, even though he might have had a good reason for it, doesn't matter. We're going to throw the whole kitchen sink at that guy. You know what I'm saying? He doesn't do what we think is right to do, and so therefore we're done. But by doing that, Germany, for example, fucked over their own people. You know what I'm saying? They fucked over their own people. A country's politicians are there to serve the interest of the citizens of that country, period. Now, if Germany had an excess surplus of money, that all the problems in Germany for the German people and the citizens who live here were taken care of and solved, and they had extra money, sure, you could then give some money to Ukraine. And hell, even in this situation now, I think all Western countries should be taking refugees from the Ukraine war. I believe that that's the way we can help them, and not sending tons of money to a corrupt government and a corrupt guy, Zelensky, that's unaccounted for. That makes no sense, especially while your own people are having major problems in your own countries. And all of these Western countries are jumping on this Ukraine bandwagon.
Fixed camera.
And they are,
1 kilometer.
by doing that, they're printing more money that they don't have, causing inflation to go much higher. And they're basically standing with Ukraine while standing against their own citizenry. And that is unacceptable. That's all you really need to know about Ukraine. You don't need to watch the news anymore. You don't need to watch anything. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who wins or loses, because you know what? You've already lost if you live in a country that is throwing that much money at Ukraine, that much weaponry at Ukraine, and knowing that this war probably will not be won. You're helping people die in Ukraine, you're helping people die in Russia, and you're all for it because of propaganda shit that you choose to believe, even though most of it is total bullshit. You know? So the thing you need to remember is that countries like Germany, countries like America, the Western countries that are all in on this Ukraine shit, they don't even have the money to take care of their own problems. So they shouldn't be causing inflation to rise every day by printing money and giving it away to fucking Ukraine. That makes no sense. You know what I mean? And this is when, if you have a child that's deathly ill and needs a special operation that's not covered by insurance, do you think that the government's going to go, well, hell, here's some fucking cash. We don't want your kid to die. Here's cash. Don't worry about when you can pay it back, or if you pay it back at all. No worries. Go get your kid healthy. That would be a cause that the government should do for its citizen. You know what I'm saying? But no, if you're in trouble, you have to live on a budget. You can't go over that budget. You have no power to print money endlessly. And so if your kid is sick and needs an operation that you can't pay for, your kid's going to die. And that's the way it is for you. But when it comes to corrupt politicians and the wills of politicians and the ability to be as hypocritical as possible and virtue signal as much as possible, they can print money unendlessly. Not for you. No. For corrupt-ass Ukraine. That they can print money for. But for you, no. You got to pay more taxes. You got to pay more power. And if your kid needs an operation you can't pay for, tough shit. That's how they look at you. And so it should piss off everybody. It should piss off everybody that's involved, that the Western countries that don't even have the capability, the money, or the power to fix the problems of their own country are pissing it all away in Ukraine. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Yes, I know that makes me sound like a heartless asshole. Tough. You know, I already said we can help by taking the refugees on and giving them money, giving them work, giving them food. But it's insane to throw money at this country knowing that it's not really doing anything and thereby fucking over your own people. That's crazy. And that's all you really need to know about that war.